Hi, I'm Jonathan Bykowski, a senior planner with Array Architects. And I want to talk to you for a few moments about the idea of kicking off a project and the importance of having a clear vision. This is something that we've really been exploring with our clients much more directly recently here at Array, because we find that along the way in a project there are so many decisions that we have to make that if we don't have a clear set of outcomes or goals, that it becomes very difficult along the way to truly assess whether or not a decision is going to have a strong impact on the value of the project or not. And so we think about visioning not just as creating sort of a one-sentence statement about how we want the project to be a great experience for all people and it should wow you, and so sort of say these sort of simple things that really aren't measurable or aren't actionable. In order for a vision to be really useful for a design team and a steering committee and a group of users who are going to get together and try and create something new, it really needs to have very actionable and very targeted outcomes in it. We need to be able at the end of the project to say, is the project meeting the goal of the vision? And not just at the end, but at several steps along the way. We really focus this process on getting together with the owner early on. We think that it's very important to start with a listening session where we don't even try to map out the vision. We just need to hear what all of the members of the group bring to the table in terms of their background and their beliefs for what a successful project might be, particularly from executive leadership who has decided at this time in this place in history is the right time for this organization to do this particular project, and there are clearly going to be drivers or goals on their part for that. And then after you have that listening session, it allows you to then decide who do we need to get together perhaps from a broader spectrum to really ask the question about how are we going to make a unique experience here, and how are we going to shape and define that experience, and what are the components that should be most focused on by this design team in order to lead to success. And so that may include a multidisciplinary group that has clinicians, physicians, you might need former patients, members of the community, staff members. There could be a large group of people, and you might get them all together at once. You might get them together in small subgroups and ask them different sets of questions. As you have these series of meetings, you want to make sure that all of your activities focus on the concept of empathy, developing empathy for each other in the room and their unique needs, and developing empathy for the needs of the other stakeholders. Because all of these people have to come together in the end and operate and function in one space, in one building successfully. And in order to do that, in order to break through the siloed barriers that lead us to traditional projects that maybe aren't as successful, we need everyone at the beginning to understand everyone else's needs so that we can understand how together we can best serve the collective whole. And so we use a series of activities. Empathy mapping is one that we like to start with, where we ask people to think about what you should see, what you should hear, what you should say to your friends when you visit the building, and not just at a high level or a general level, but specifically we identify from the standpoint of certain individuals, a patient, a physician, a radiology tech. What should their unique experience of a successful building be? And if you start to map that out very quickly, it's a very rapid exercise, you start to see commonalities among them, and you start to see where certain value might apply to multiple people, and that starts to lead you down the road to components of your vision statement that will bring the highest and best value to your entire project. And so it's very important when you start to think about what that might be for your project, and to help your group develop a vision statement that isn't just a sentence, but is a series of true goals that you can test all of your decisions against along the way, and that's going to really add value to your project. I invite you to visit our knowledge communities where we talk about this and some of our other goals for how to begin a project so that you start off on the right foot and get to the end more successfully every time. That's something that's very important to us here at Array. Thank you.